So good afternoon, my dear students. Before starting my lecture, I want to convey my vote of thanks to Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Dilip Maisekar sir, Dr. Pro Vice Chancellor Dr. Mohan Khamgaonkar sir, and our beloved Registrar Dr. Kalidas Chavan sir. Students, today we are going to deal with an important topic, that is delirium poison. But before starting my lecture, I want to convey you the importance of toxicology. Many times what happens, due to senior student guidance, many second year MBBS students make a toxicology topic as optional topic. But I am requesting all of you that make a toxicology topic as a thorough topic. Why? Because I always say in my lectures that you have two goals, that is short-term goal and long-term goal. Short-term goal is that you have to pass second year MBBS, and long-term goal is that you have to become a successful medical practitioner. For your short-term goal, to pass a second year MBBS, you have to give theory and practical examination. So in a theory, there is a compulsory long question of a 6 marks, and as well as 2 or 3 MCQs on a toxicology. So it is important in theory, out of your 40 marks, almost 10 marks is for theory, and for a practical, there is separate viva on toxicology 5 marks, as well as in a spots, there are 2 spots of a toxicology. So out of your 80 marks of a total university examination, almost 20 marks are for toxicology. So you have to make a thorough learning about the toxicology. Don't make it as an optional. So it's my request and suggestion to all my dear second year MBBS students that you make a toxicology as a very learned topic. Then it's, as its name given, it is toxic to learn also. But I am giving one hint about this, that how to learn a toxicology different topics, because each topic has a similar thing, that is the what is its morphological features, what is its fatal dose, what is its fatal period, what are signs and symptoms, what is treatment, what is diagnosis, and what are medical legal importance. Then how to make each poison thorough. So read each poison in each day. After a completion of a one poison, you learn in a second day the second poison. So after that day, when you are learning the second poison, you have to at first revise the first poison and try to learn a second poison in the next day. So follow this method. If you are following this method, 100% your toxicology topic will get learned in an easy way. Is it clear? Can I proceed? So today we are going to learn about delirium poison. So what is the delirium poisoning, or what is meaning of a delirium poison? Delirium poison are the substances which induces acute confusional state with disorientation, delusion, and hallucination. So it induces the delirium. What is delirium? Delirium is an acute confusional state with disorientation, delusion, and hallucination. Mainly it comprises two important plants, that is Datura and cannabis. Datura has a prominent anticholinergic effects and can cause anticholinergic syndrome, while cannabis does not cause. So again I am repeating, delirium are substances which induces delirium. What is delirium? Delirium is an acute confusional state with disorientation, delusion and hallucination. You all have learned what is delusion, what is hallucination in forensic psychiatry. So today we are going to learn mainly about Datura and cannabis. And these are the poisons which are routinely asked in a MUHS University examination in theory as well as in Viva about what is fatal dose of Datura, what is the active principle of cannabis. So make these two poisons thorough. First, the botanical name of a Datura is Datura stramonium or Datura metal or Datura fastuosa. This plant grows up to 3 to 5 feet and had handsome foliage of a dark green ovate leaves and large tubular flowers. Flowers is either of a white color or purple color. White color is known as Datura alba and purple color is known as Datura niger. The fruit is a circular and it has a soft rind and it consists of the 50 to 100 seeds, and these seeds are the poisonous one. And Datura seeds can be confused with a chili seed. Then how to differentiate Datura seed with a chili seed? So these are the differentiating point between Datura seed and the chili or capsicum seed. Size, Datura seeds are larger than the capsicum seed. Shape is kidney shaped in Datura, while in chili seed it is rounded. Color is dark brown of a Datura, while it is pale yellow of a chili seed. Convex border in a Datura is double edge, while that of chili seed is the single edge. Smell, the Datura are odorless, while the chili seeds are the pungent odor. Surface are a smooth depression present on a Datura seed, but there is the depression present in a Datura seed while smooth in a chili seed, and taste of a Datura seed is bitter while that of chili seed is the pungent. When you take a cross section of a Datura seed, its embryo is curved outwards while that of chili seeds is inwards. Have understood the differentiating point between Datura seed and chili seed? This is the commonly asked Viva question by examiner. How will you differentiate Datura seed and the chili seeds? So with these different points, you can easily differentiate between Datura and chili seed. Is it clear? Can I proceed? So what are the medicinal use of a Datura? Datura is used at first atropine for the treatment of bradycardia, pre-anesthetic medication, or in case of organophosphorus poisoning, which is the commonest poisoning occurring in a rural area of India, and treatment of the iridocyclitis. Also, the another form of a Datura, it produces another alkaloid, that is hyoscine, and hyoscine is used as an antispasmodic, radiological and endoscopic examination, pre-anesthetic medication, and in motions. So it has important medicinal use as an alkaloid derivative of atropine and hyoscine. Toxic part is all parts of a plant is toxic. This is a toxic principle. This is again a Viva question. What are the toxic principle of Datura? These are hyoscine, hyoscyamine, and atropine. What is the fatal dose? What is the fatal dose of the Datura? Is the 100 seeds. So remember, this is the again important Viva question of an examiner. What is the fatal dose of a Datura seed? This is 100. And what is mode of action? These are alkaloids. It inhibits the muscarinic effect of acetylcholine. So remember this. What is the action or what? It is anticholinergic. It inhibits the muscarinic effect of acetylcholine. And site of action is autonomic effector innervated by postganglionic cholinergic nerve and smooth muscle that do not contain cholinergic innervation. It has also central nervous system effects like vagus stimulation and decrease in heart rate. So again, I am revising. Its toxic part is the all part. Toxic principle is the hyoscine, hyoscyamine, traces of atropine. Its fatal dose, remember this, that is 100 C. And it competitively inhibits the muscarinic effect of acetylcholine. So remember this. What is the mode of action of Datura? Datura inhibits the muscarinic effect of acetylcholine. And it has also central nervous system effect which produces vagal stimulation and decreased heart rate. Clinical feature. Remember, in many books, these clinical features are given like as a blind as a bat, hot as a hair, dry as a bone, red as a beetroot, and mad as a wet hair. But remember it as a series of Ds. What are these series of Ds? So it's very easy to remember its clinical feature in series of Ds. What are these series of D? First is dryness of mouth, thirst, slurping. Second is dysphagia. What is dysphagia? Dysphagia is difficulty in swallowing, dilated pupils, diplopia, dry hot skin, drunken gait, delirium with hallucination, dysuria, and in severe cases, death can occur. So remember these 3 Ds. Remember these. What are these? Dryness of mouth, dysphagia, dilated pupils, diplopia, dry hot skin, drunken gait, delirium with hallucination, dysuria, and in severe cases, death can occur. How this Datura poisoning is diagnosed? It is diagnosed in a blood by gas chromatography. Also, there is neutrophil leukocytosis is present. If you add 2-3 drops of 1% pilocarpine, people do not constrict within 15 to 30 minutes, and that is the diagnostic test of a Datura poisoning. Another is if you put or instill the few drops of urine of a patient in a cat's eye, it gives mydriasis. So it is diagnosed with a atropine in a blood as by gas chromatography, neutrophil leukocytosis, dilated pupils, and cat's eye test. That is installation of a urine in the cat's eye, it produces mydriasis. Treatment. It's very important part. Treatment. Treat the patient in a quiet and dark environment. Treat the respiratory failure by first endotracheal intubation and with the assisted ventilation. Monitor ECG, pulse, temperature. Give gastric lavage. Catheterize the bladder. Administer IV fluid as required. Agitation can be controlled with the judicious use of diazepam. Judicious use of diazepam is very important. Next, hyperthermia can be managed by hydration and cooling measures. The important part of a treatment is an antidote, and it is the pharmacological antidote. What is the pharmacological antidote? It counteracts the action of a poison. That is, physostigmine is an antidote of a choice, but it should be again used judiciously and only when the patient shows signs and symptoms of coma, arrhythmia, hallucination, severe hypertension, and convulsion. Only in these cases only physostigmine is used, because physostigmine has also its dangerous side effects. So if only coma, arrhythmia, hallucination, severe hypertension and convulsions are present, then and then only use the physostigmine. Otherwise, don't use the physostigmine. Why? Because it has dangerous side effects. What is its dose? Its dose is 2 milligram IV slowly and repeated if required in 20 minutes. Do not give continuous infusion. Continuous cardiac monitoring should be there and it's mandatory. The pediatric dose is 0.5 mg IV slowly, repeating if required at a 5 minutes interval, maximum 2 milligram. Again, I am repeating, in a treatment, physostigmine is given judiciously and only when the signs and symptoms of a coma, arrhythmia, hallucination, severe hypertension and convulsions are present. And what is its dose? Adult dose is 2 milligram IV slowly and pediatric dose is 0.5 mg IV slowly. Again, I have already told physostigmine is effective but dangerous antidote and can give rise to convulsion, asystole, hypotension, hypersalivation, bradyarrhythmia if it is administered without caution. So, in a treatment, we have shown that it should be continuous cardiac monitoring is the mandatory. Otherwise, it can produce the bradyarrhythmia, hypotension, etc. Neostigmine and pyridostigmine do not traverse the blood-brain barrier and so not effective. Physostigmine is a tertiary amine and can easily pass the blood-brain barrier. That's why physostigmine is used as an antidote of a datura poisoning. But neostigmine and pyridostigmine is not used because it does not crosses the blood-brain barrier. And drugs to be avoided in a treatment of datura poisoning are the antihistaminic, phenothiazine, tricyclic, quinidine, disopyramide, prosenamide, and morphine. Have you understood up till now? What is medico-legal aspect? As usual, accidental, suicidal, homicidal. Accidentally, datura seeds can be taken as a mistaken identity with a chili or capsicum seed. How to differentiate chili seed with a capsicum seed? We have already learned. Or in a rural area, the countryside children can act as a part of a curiosity. It may occur because it is used in a medicinal purpose. Its side effect may occur as a therapeutic misadventure. We have learned what is therapeutic misadventure in a medical jurisprudence. Or orientastic use of atropine in organophosphorus poisoning, it can cause accidental poisoning. It is easily available, so it can be used as a suicidal poison. And there are some cases that datura is used as a homicidal poison. What is stupefaction? And it's a very important medico-legal aspect of a datura. Stupefaction is incapacitating a victim suddenly by administering a datura for causing robbery or rape. And it can be administered with mixing it in an insane stick like agarbatti, and with that, with the fumes of the agarbatti, that the stupefaction can occur. So what is the purpose of a stupefaction? Is to do robbery or rape. Datura is also called as a roadside poison. When we ask the student the question, viva question, why datura is called as a roadside poison, many students give the answer because, sir, it is found on a roadside. That's why it is called as a roadside poison. Don't give this answer. Answer is that datura is used for a stupefaction, for a robbery or rape cases in railway or a bus passenger. That's why it is called as a roadside poisoning, and that person can mix it with a food drink or tobacco and give as your friend, and after that the person becomes the delirium, that is it produces acute confusional state, and when it is produced, that person can do robbery or can do the rape, and that is the reason why the tura is called as a roadside poison, not because it is finding on a roadside. That's not the correct answer. Correct answer is that it is used in a railways or bus passenger, and it is mixed in a food or drink to stupefaction, for the stupefaction, and cause rape or robbery. Next important poison is the cannabis. Cannabis has a historical background, and today it is the world's most commonly used illicit drug with more than 300 million regular users. Think how many people are using cannabis regularly. And in a drug addiction, it is the fourth in the list. After caffeine, nicotine, and alcohol, fourthly, cannabis is used. So cannabis has this type of plant. It is known as cannabis sativa. The plant grows height of 5 to 15 feet, and it has a characteristic odd number of leaflets on each leaf, ranging from 5 to 9, and all having serrated or saw-tooth edges. So cannabis sativa, it can grow up to the height 5 to 15 feet, and it has characteristic leaflets having odd numbers and having serrated or saw-tooth edges. It is also male and female flower. Important Viva question: what is toxic principle of the cannabis? It is tetrahydrocannabinol, and its percentage differs from a different products. In next slide, we are going to learn about that. What are another toxic principle? These are cannabidiol, cannabinol, cannabidolic acid, cannabicyclol, cannabigerol. These are the different types of the toxic principle in a cannabis. What are the uses? Uses of cannabis is it is used to produce rope, used as a poultry food. It is effective in controlling nausea and diarrhea associated with HIV, that is AIDS, used in treating glaucoma. Also, it can be used in a multiple sclerosis, epilepsy, dystonic status. What are mode of poisoning? These are the different words you should learn, because it's again Viva question. What is marijuana? What is ganja? What is bhang? What is charas? So these are the different questions asked, and what is the quantity of active principle in each. Marijuana, the term refers to any part of the plant or extract that is used to induce the delirium effect. Ganja, in India, it is resinous mass composed of leaves. It is used to refer crushed leaves and efflorescence of a female plant. It is usually smoked in a pipe or chillum in the form of cigarettes. Ganja is said to contain 1 to 2% tetrahydro. So, this Viva question is important. What is the percentage of the THC, that is tetrahydrocannabinol? What is that? 1 to 2% in a ganja. In bhang, bhang is made up of mature leaves and flower stems, and it is usually mixed in a milk or fruit juice in our Holi or Shivratri. So, ganja is composed of a resinous mass composed of leaves, and THC percent is 1 to 2%. While in a bhang, it is made up of mature leaves and flower stems. Then hashish or charas, it is dried resin collected from the flower tops, and its THC ranges up to the 10%. And if a hashish liquid is there, THC is up to 20 to 30% or more. Sinsemilla is the most popular form of a cannabis used in a USA, and THC percent is the 5%. Marijuana or blunts, again it is the cheap cigars sliced open, packed with the cannabis and received. Blunts are very popular among youth in a USA. Again I am revising, what are these? Marijuana is the common term used, while ganja consists of a resinous mass composed of leaves. THC percent is 1 to 2%. Bhang is made up of mature leaves and flower stems. Hashish or charas have THC up to 10%. Hashish oil is 20 to 30% THC, and it is dried resin collected from flower tops. Sinsemilla is THC is 5% and popular form in the USA, while blunts are also popular in the youth of USA. So smoking cannabis generally produces immediate effect, but ingestion gives slow and unpredictable effect. It takes about 15 seconds, only 15 seconds for the action of the THC when smoked, and peak effects are seen within 10 to 30 minutes and may last for 1 to 4 hours. So by smoking, the effects start within 15 seconds, becomes peak up to 10 to 30 minutes, and its effect lasts for 1 to 4 hours. Acute poisoning produces euphoria, temporal and spatial disorientation, producing different sensation like colors becoming brighter, sounds become more distinct, music is heard, heightened fidelity. All these different types of the hallucinations are produced. Then different types of the delusions are produced. Sometimes it gives acute toxic psychosis. There is suicidal tendency, anxiety, tachycardia is there, palpitation is there, hypotension results in high doses. It gives or increases appetite. Bloodshot eyes are there. Pupils are usually not affected. So these are the signs and symptoms of acute poisoning. What are these? It gives a different state, like euphoria. Colors become brighter, sounds become more distinct, music heard, and it increases clarity of a perception. If the dose is increased, it gives suicidal tendency. In higher doses, there is tachycardia, palpitation, hypotension, bloodshot eyes are there, and increases appetite. If the person is addict of a cannabis, there is addiction, it gives a syndrome known as a amotivational syndrome. What is amotivational syndrome? It is characterized by apathy, poor concentration, social withdrawal, lack of motivation to study or work. So amotivational syndrome is in a drug addict of a cannabis. And what is this? It is characterized by apathy, poor concentration, social withdrawal, lack of motivation to study or work. Heavy cannabis users demonstrate an increased tendency to develop manic, schizophrenic form and confusional psychosis over a period of time. So drug addiction is a very dangerous. And as a master, students, I want to advise you that don't go for all this addiction, because you are becoming doctor, and doctor are next to God. So to maintain our dignity of profession, don't experience it or never experience it throughout your life. That is my advice to you. And I know you are my obedient students. You all are going to follow this. So these are the different side effects, signs and symptoms of cannabis poisoning. Fatal dose. Fatal dose is IV fatal dose is 1 to 2 grams, while in an injection is up to 700 grams. How the diagnosis is made? It gives characteristic burnt rope type of odor. Then with a different laboratory test, if you keep in a several drops of a chloral hydrate on a microscope side and examine under low power, you can see cystolith hairs. If you examine the urine, it gives positive result up to 70 or more days. But these increased TSC levels are also present where the person is doing the excessive fitness program for loss of weight. In that also TSC level is increased. But usually it is increased in a cannabis poisoning. False positive result may occur with a temperature, use of ibuprofen, phenoprofen or naproxen. So, with a clinically how the cannabis poisoning is diagnosed by symptomology and it is characteristic burnt rope odor, and also with the use or doing some investigation of a suspected specimen. If you add chloral hydrate on that suspected and see under the microscope, you can see cystolith hairs, or in a urine there is increased level of the TSC, that is up to 50 to 100 nanogram per ml, and it is remain for 70 or more days. False positive result can occur with the ibuprofen, phenoprofen or naproxen. Treatment: acute poisoning, decontamination measures, acute psychotic reaction, respond to benzodiazepine, and supportive measures are there. Then if the person is addicted, then there is psychosocial therapy consisting of attempts to promote realistic and rewarding alternatives to the drug and associated lifestyle, along with commitment to abstinence from the self-administered or unprescribed psychotropic drug. So you know that there are different de-addiction centers, and in de-addiction centers, this type of psychosocial therapy is given. There is another type of therapy, that is drug focus group therapy, compromising strategies like a social pressure to reinforce the abstinence, teaching socialization, problem solving skills, reducing stress and sense of isolation with drug abuse, relapse prevention exercise, and varying degrees of confrontation. In some cases, short-term use of anxiolytic agents are useful. Anxiolytic like benzodiazepine may be necessary in some cases. Or short-term use of antipsychotic medication is also required in persistent delusional ideas or frightening flashbacks. So short-term antipsychotic medication is used in a persistent delusional ideas or frightening flashbacks. So these are the treatment. In acute poisoning, benzodiazepine is administered, decontamination must be done, and supportive measures are done. While in a chronic poisoning or de-addict, in a addicted people, psychosocial therapy, drug focus group therapy, short-term use of anxiolytic, and short-term use of antipsychotic medication are used. What is the medico-social and forensic issues of the cannabis? Cannabis has been found for thousands of years. In our country, sannyasis and temple pujaris use it to induce trance-like state for the purpose of a religious meditation. While long-term use of cannabis can cause serious health problems like acute intoxication, sometimes lead to medico-legal complications. Danger lies in the capacity of cannabis to interfere with the motor skill and judgment, so accident may occur and it may lead to the death. The favorite viva question of an examiner is, what is run amok? Run amok is the psychotic condition after the ingestion of cannabis, and that person becomes violent and causes the violent behavior. With that, he does some murders, and that is known as a run amok. That he runs and causes a multiple murders, and this is known as a run amok. What is run amok? Run amok is a condition produced by ingestion of a cannabis, and with that ingestion there is the psychotic reaction which causes the homicidal frenzy. So that person does the multiple murder, and that is known as a run amok. So in today's lecture, I will revise what we have seen. We have learned about two important poisons known as datura and cannabis. These poisons come under the classification delirium. What is delirium? Delirium is a stage, it is the confusional stage with disorientation, delusion, and hallucination. And two important poisons are datura and cannabis. Datura look like this plant, and the flower fruit look like this. It is globular, having a soft spike, and it consists of 50 to 100 seeds. You have to differentiate between datura and the chili seed with these 7 to 8 points. Then we have learned about the use of a datura alkaloid as atropine and hyoscine as a pre-anesthetic medication in treatment of organous phosphorus poisoning and other uses. Then its fatal dose is 100 seed. It inhibits the muscarinic effects of acetylcholine. What are the signs of summarized signs and symptoms? As a blind as a bat, hot as a hair, dry as a bone, red as a beetroot, and mad as a weten. These are the different D's: dryness of mouth, dysphagia, dilated pupil, diplopia, dry hot skin, drunken gait, delirium, dysuria, in severe case death. And diagnosis is made by a gas chromatography. Then neutrophil leukocytosis. Pilocarpine does not constrict within 15 minutes. CAT-SI test. Then treatment, that you have to do the supportive treatment. An important antidote is a physostigmine, but again I am repeating, physostigmine is always used cautiously and only in cases of coma, arrhythmia, hallucination, severe hypertension, convulsion. The adult dose is 2 mg IV slowly and can be repeated after 20 minutes. Pediatric dose is 0.5 mg. Medico-legal aspect is that it is used for a stupefaction and known as a roadside poison. Why roadside poison? Because in a railway or bus passenger, it is used to stupefy that person and do the purpose of a robbery or rape. Next is cannabis. Cannabis sativa. Then it has a typical leaf having an odd number of leaflets and serration on its side. Then its active principle is tetrahydrocannabinol, and it is known as THC. THC percentage is different in ganja, bhang, hashish. So in ganja it is 1 to 2%. In hashish it is up to 10%, or in hashish liquid is 20 to 30%. Sinsemilla and blunts are popular in USA youth. Then when you take or smoke, it gives its effect within 15 seconds and peak up to 10 to 30 minutes and lasts for 1 to 4 hours. It produces euphoria, delusion, hallucination. In the different, you hear different music, color become brighter, so you are in a trance-like state. But as my student, you don't experience it throughout your life. It produces a motivational syndrome consisting of apathy, poor concentration, social withdrawal, lack of motivation. Then, how it is diagnosed? Clinically, it has characteristic burnt throat. Its fatal dose is 1 to 2 grams by injection and by IV, and injection is 700 grams. Then it can be diagnosed by laboratory investigation by putting its suspension under microscope slide and adding chlorhydrate. It gives systolic tears, urine levels can be examined, and the THC is positive up to 70 or more days. Then acute poisoning can be treated by decontamination, giving benzodiazepine and supportive measure. Chronic poisoning by psychosocial therapy, drug focus group therapy, short term and short-term use of anxiolytic agent, short-term use of antipsychotic medication. And I have used what is its medical legal use, that is what is run amok. Due to injection, it produces a psychotic reaction and that person does multiple murders, and that is known as a run amok. Remember this, and this is the favorite Viva question. So this topic is important. Your short-term goal to pass second year MBBS examination. I already told the up to 20 marks, 10 marks in practical, 10 marks in theory. And what is your long-term goal? Long-term goal is that you should become a successful ethical medical practitioner, and for that you should have the knowledge of a different poisons related like that of the alcohol. You are going to face many cases of poisoning in a rural place like organophosphorus poisoning, alcoholic intoxication, datura poisoning, cannabis poisoning. So like that, for the treating this, your concept must be clear. And I think with this lecture, your concept may get clear. But again, I advise that you have to read all these again and again. What is my tip to learn the toxicology is that make a thorough one poison in one day. Second day, when you are starting second poison, read the first poison and then start the second poison. And again, I am requesting, don't put toxicology as an option. So thank you very much for your patience hearing.